Can you hear me?
Now, yes.
I'm trying to connect to YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, it's on YouTube now.
Okay.
It should actually be.
I should mute it. Well, it seems you have disabled my video.
Hello, guys. We have about 21 people in the room now. Hope you guys can hear me. You can just wave if you can hear me. Can you just send an emoji if you can hear me? A hand wave. Let's be sure we're on the same page. We just have 8 minutes to start, and okay, someone just left a comment. Okay. Okay. It's great to see some of you guys joined 30 minutes early. I mean, you didn't want to miss this for any reason. We really appreciate that. And you waited out for the past 30 minutes. The meeting can only take in about 100 people, and so far we are 22. I have 22 people in the room. So anybody else that is not able to join, once we hit the number, can always watch on YouTube. So I think I'm just going to share the link at YouTube, so you can share it with your friends across your social media platform for others to join on YouTube. Okay. So is the Chukwu has already shared the link on YouTube, so you can, if for any reason you maybe for network reason you are logged out and you're unable to log back in because the link is the room is filled up, you can use this link to continue viewing on YouTube. So want this meeting to reach as much people as possible, but unfortunately we are not able to take in a large everybody on Zoom. So made this live streaming on YouTube, so we can reach as much as possible on YouTube, guys. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Of the energy. I hope you can hear me from there.
Yes, very clearly.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Okay. So we're going to be strict with time. Once it's 12 noon, we start, so we don't waste your time. Because some of you who joined early enough, we're not going to waste any of your time. So once it's 12 noon, we get started. And anyone else can join us moving from there. So we have about 30 people in the room now. The number is coming up. Okay. You're welcome, Aisha, Yusuf, Aisha, Shihu, Amare, Beno, Barbara, Akelo, Bayu, Begasho, Bekele, Bev, Kadu, Meldad. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name properly. Just pardon me. We have Belinda Asiadu. We have Bolton Kadwe. We have
It's
Eloho
okay.
Patua. We have Fiano Jenna. We have George Ernest. We have Izu here, our team member. We have Lamek. We have Nyenda. We have Mubanga. We have Pretty Hadebe. Pretty Hadebe, I can remember this name. You sent me an email. We have Roger Lutalo. We have Shembel. Sorry, I can't get that. We have Simambwe. We have Spencer. We have Teres, Dagmawit, Tut Kwang. You guys are all welcome.
Thank you.
To have you. Okay. Okay, someone is connecting from Ghana, from Ethiopia. You can just tell us in the comments where you're connecting from. We have Ethiopia, we have Ghana, we have Uganda. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so far that's what we have. Zambia, okay. From Lusaka, Zambia. Okay, from Ethiopia. Okay. Okay, Nancy, sure. Okay. Okay, it's here. Hello, guys, once again. Welcome to After School Africa webinar. We've in the past hosted events like this, but they've mostly been physical events. But we decided this time around to host this webinar online to reach as much people as possible, because when it's a physical meeting, we are limited to the number of people we can bring in as a result of distance and different people from different geography. But it's good to see that we have people connecting from across Africa, from Zambia, Ghana, Uganda, Zambia, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and more, South Africa. So this is, we're going to be talking about how to attract funding opportunities for your business. And we intend that we have more of these sort of events going forward. to engage more with our audience at After School Africa. Some of you have been with us for years, and we believe that it's a responsibility we have to give back, to continue to give back to our audience in terms of sharing knowledge that would be impactful and helpful to them regarding the opportunities we often publish on After School Africa. Most of you are subscribed to our email newsletter. Some of you visit on our website, and you come across lots of opportunities out there. And it begs to figure how to take advantage, most advantage of these opportunities. And we believe it's in our best interest to share some of this knowledge with you guys. So hopefully you can take it and implement it when you are seeking out these opportunities that are available. When we put it out, you know how best to go about it. So we're going to be sharing a slide with you. Hopefully more people join. So far we have about 42 people in the room and counting. And the meeting is going to be filled up when we hit 100 people. Okay, more people are still joining. But we're going to move on. Let me share a slide. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Hope you guys can see my screen. Okay, Shinedu, say you hope to see how to attract funding for school. Well, we'll probably have to talk about that in a different webinar. But as far as this today's webinar is concerned, it's about how to attract funding opportunities to grow your business. So when we have something set up for schools, I hope you're going to attend for that. All right, so how to attract funding opportunities to grow your business. And we are going to look at different aspects of funding and how to take advantage of them. But first, we'll have a brief introduction, and then we'll talk about the key resources to grow a business. Then we'll explore why they want to invest. That is why investors and funders want to invest in your business. Because when you understand the reason someone wants to give you money, then you would know how to prepare yourself to be able to take advantage of such an opportunity. Then we'll talk about the different types of businesses that are out there, different types of business funding, which is best for you, which of this type of business funding is best for you. Okay. Then we'll talk about the right mindset to attract these funding opportunities, because I've been able to see behind the scene of what applications look like. And it would interest you to know that a lot of people, majority of people actually get in when it comes to putting up the right mindset of applying for funding opportunities that would get the attention of the funder or the person who is reviewing the application. So we're going to look at that, the right mindset to attract the funding opportunities. And then would also look at knowing your risk profile. This will also help you in regarding how you are investors and the type of investors that you approach when seeking funding. Then how to target the right investors and funders. We'll explore that as well. And then we'll also look at how to build a strong application that will give you competitive advantage when applying for funding opportunities. And then where to find these opportunities, where are they, how can you find them? We'll also look at that. Then we'll take any question that you have. So that's the summary of what we are going to go through for today's meeting. All right. So about me, I'm a business owner, founder of After School Africa, and I've been privileged to be a part of a handful of businesses. I'm also a co-founder of a business that have won funding opportunities at different capacities. So that gives me some experience being on the other side as an applicant. And also I've been privileged to have invested in startups as well. So having the experience as an investor, and also I have been a part of a judge. I've been a judge and facilitator in going through and selecting applicants for funding opportunities. So this kind of gives me some background knowledge of what it takes to explore these opportunities and to take advantage of them. All right, so what are the key resources to grow a business? There are actually 3 key resources that is required to grow a business. All right, and we'll take them one after the other. We have the funding financial resource, which is where the capital comes in. We have the human resource, which is partnership, network, and team. The people, humans that are part of the business are part of the key resources that makes the business successful. And then we have the technology resource, which is where you take advantage of digital technology and technology tools that gives you the leverage to scale your business. But for the purpose of this webinar, we are going to concentrate on the funding part. Okay. So to start with, let's look at a few statistics. This report here says that African startups raised a record smashing $4.3 billion to $5 billion in 2021. And so now there are different institutions reporting this data. So some of them estimated 4.3 billion, while some estimated 5-point-something billion. So apparently, that if we have an average to it, that's about $4.65 billion invested in startups. As a matter of fact, this is actually venture investors. So if we have to factor in grants and investment from angels, family investors, and all other form of investment that weren't captured here, then we are looking at a very significant size of funding, money that comes into Africa regarding funding to grow businesses. So this gives us an idea of what is available out there. So if you're having the doubts and wondering if this is actually, if there's actually opportunities out there for businesses, well, this data actually gives you the affirmative that yes, there are these opportunities that actually exist. Okay. So this also talks about, this gives us a comparative figure. In 2020, Africa received about 1.4 billion in funding. And by 2021, we had about 263% increase to $5 billion investment in Africa. So giving you that understanding, so you have your mind at rest that there is actually this money out there. So the question then is, how can you attract them? How can you take advantage of these funding opportunities? Okay, so Now, why do they invest? Why do funders want to invest in your business? Why would anyone want to give you money to grow your business? First and foremost, there is the profits motive. There are funding opportunities out there that their interest is identifying businesses that have potential to generate profits. They bring in their money so that your business can grow for them to make profit out of it. So that's basically their motive around giving money to businesses. So if you are reaching this kind of investors, you have to understand their intent for wanting to give money. Then you can present your application in a way that appeals to them. Because oftentimes, some business owners create a business plan and they want to use the same business application for every form of investor that they reach out to. But getting to understand the motive of different investors would give you a head start on how to approach that investor. So there are different kind of investors that are interested in profits. We have incubator and accelerator program. We have angel investors, venture capitalists. Now you have to understand that some of these investors have a mix of motives. Some of them is a mix of profit and something else that motivates them. And for some, it's just profit. But of course, you wouldn't want to have an investor that is purely motivated by profit investing in your business, because they may end up not following in line with the vision of the business and may just be all about just getting the money, whether they end up killing the business or not. So you should be looking at investors that have an holistic approach to their intent of wanting to invest in a business. Okay. Okay. And the next reason why investors invest in business is foreign policy. So we have different funding agencies that works with the government of the country in question. And their intent is to portray themselves as the big brother, United States and foreign developed countries giving aid to Africa and all of that. At a point, it was mainly about giving aid to Africa for fighting AIDS, fighting poverty, fighting sickness, and all of that. But at a point, these organizations, these governments realized that just giving money to solve those societal problems are not necessarily the best way to help Africa. So some of them started creating agencies that will focus on funding businesses, because businesses and entrepreneurs are the engines of every economy. They are the one who creates jobs, who create businesses that pay taxes. They are the one who innovates and brings about change in the country. So foreign policy being a driving force, and these countries wanting to make an impact in developing countries have agencies. So we have United States African Development Foundation, which focus mostly in funding Africa. And this grant is actually a grant, and so you don't have to pay back the loan. You can get as much as $250,000 from this agency to invest in your agri business. So if you're into agri, you should explore this funding opportunity. As a matter of fact, this application is still open as we speak, and the deadline is sometime in September. It's ending of this month. So you can still go ahead and apply for it if you're interested, and that is if your business is agri-based. There are lots of other ones out there, but for brevity and to keep things under perspective, I just have to mention just this one. But on After School Africa, we endeavor to put out this information whenever they are available for people to take advantage of. All right. Okay. The other reason why organizations want to invest in your business is for social impact, to meet the sustainable development goal. So an example of such organization is the Africa's Business Heroes by the Alibaba Jack Ma Foundation, which is Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. So he has this foundation that gears to support businesses in Africa that are making societal difference, societal change. And being a part of the judging process of this business and facilitation, the businesses that are given priority are businesses that are solving a problem, a major problem that is part of the sustainable development goal. And you don't necessarily have to be making profit, but of course, your business has to show prospect that at some point it's going to make profit. But the driving force of this funder is the social impact your business is making. So when you are approaching this kind of funder, you should be presenting your application in a way that represents, that demonstrates how your business is solving a societal problem. Problems like solving hunger problem, gender equality, safe workplace, climate and environment problems, and all of that. So you look at the 18 SDG goals, and you figure out which of them your business is solving, and you emphasize on that when applying for this kind of funding opportunities. And of course, you'll also have to lay at the side of the profits that your business has the potential of making profit, but your emphasis should be on the social impact that your business is solving. The other reason that funders and investors want to invest in your business is for innovation. So we have venture capitalists who are looking for businesses that are solving a problem innovatively using technology. We have example of Stripe acquiring Paystack in Nigeria, and Udala acquiring Conga in the e-commerce space. So these investors are mostly looking out for businesses that are solving a problem. And in a lot of cases, they're also looking for a business that they can sell their ownership and cash out their profit from it. So this also ties into profit. But the business is not solely driven, their intent is not solely driven on profit, but the innovation, the problem the business is bringing to the market, and the potential that this innovation is going to eventually result to profit. So if you look at it, you will see that some investors look at these different reasons. So it can be a combination of profit, social impact, and innovation. So the key there is for you to understand which of these motivations drives the investor or the funder. And when approaching them, you present yourself in that light. And if you realize that your business does not tie into the motivation of this funder, then there's no point wasting your time wanting to go through the application process, because you wouldn't be considered if you don't tie into the motivation of the funder. All right. And then there's the government programs, which are mostly government of your own country. Remember, at one point in Nigeria, the government had the UN business plan competition where business owners applied, and they got funding of $10 million then, which is about, at the time was about $20,000. But now, considering the exchange rate, that's about $12,000 thereabout. So the motivation here, mostly for this kind of funders, the government, in this case, is to create jobs. So you have to demonstrate that your business can create jobs and generate revenue to pay taxes back to the government, and that it can spur economic growth in some way. So the government may not be so interested in the fact that you are solving a social problem when you are not making profit enough to pay taxes. So you have to understand that motivation when applying to such and funding opportunities such as this. Okay. So next, we'll talk about the types of funding. I believe we all already know the different kind of fundings there, but for emphasis and for the reason, for some understanding that we need to grab as we move into this webinar, we have to go through the different kind of funding. And we have the, which is debt. And this is what money someone gives you to invest in your business, and you pay back within a stipulated period of time with interest. So this typically has no, you don't get to lose part ownership of your business. You take the money, you use it for the specific purpose for which you took the loan from the bank or the individual or whoever it is, and you pay back the loan with interest. So we have the low interest loans, we have mid interest, and we have high interest. And as a business, you have no business going any close to a mid interest or high interest loan. If at all you should go for a loan, then you should be looking at a low interest loan, which are often offered by government in partnership with probably industry, Bank of Industry, and merchant, all those kind of separate specialized banking that is tailored towards empowering small businesses. So you can actually get a loan from a bank or from family and friends. We also have equity, which is where you get money from a funder and you give off a percentage ownership of your business. And this is typically something you can get from family and friends. You can get from partners who would bring in money to get a part ownership of your company. You can get it from incubators and accelerator programs. You can get it from angel investors, from VC investors. Now, angel investors and VCs, people often ask the question, what is the difference between angels and VCs?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you please mute your mic so we don't distract? Thank you. Okay, so, but I will get to the part where I would emphasize on that. Then we have the grant prize award funding, and this is where we lay most of our emphasis. Most of the opportunities we publish on After School Africa are mostly opportunities that are grant funding opportunities for businesses. So in this case, you don't pay back the loan, it's free money. You don't pay back the money, it's free money you invest into your business. And usually this kind of funding comes with lots of other benefits, like you get mentorship access, you get a fellowship program where you mingle with other business owners, you get opportunity to get exposure in your industry. So this is a type of business funding that is going to make a significant impact in your business when you are able to access them. Okay, so we have the African Business Euros, where the most successful business in the program takes home $300,000, and the runner-ups takes away $100,000. And depending on what stage your business is, this fund will make a significant difference in your business. The African Business Euros is still at it's 300,000. So it's the program is still currently ongoing, and the selection has been done up to the top 20 out of 21,000 applicants. So yeah, these grant programs can be competitive, but if you follow through the right steps, I can assure you that you can get through at least to the top 100 or the top 50, and then your interview and the viability of your business can give you the step ahead to scale into the next level. There's also the GEM Small Business Grant Programs, the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Foundation Program, which awards you, there's a grant award and also the equity award, which comes with different terms and conditions. There is Seed Star Award for entrepreneurs in sustainable development. So some of these funding opportunities are specialized. Some of them, they are funding opportunities that are specialized for agribusiness, that's grant programs. There are some that are specialized for businesses that are solving sustainable development programs. There are some that are businesses in the energy sector. So you have to look for different funders from different categories. There are some that are general, like the African Business Heroes is for every kind of business. There is no age limit, no barrier. All you have to be is an African who has a business that has been around for at least 3 years. Okay, so some of the benefits of grant funding, it's free money. You get educational benefits where you get training and mentorship. I was able to facilitate one of the training for the selected candidates for the African Business Heroes. And so you get to have access to some kind of closed door mentorship and training, and also fellowship, where you go through a streamlined online or offline tutorial that guides you on how to grow your business. So even if you end up not being among the top applicants, you can take away the knowledge that you gain from this kind of programs. There's also expert advisory. You get to, in some cases, you get the rare opportunity of meeting top business people who will be available for expert advice, even mentorship for your program. I know the African Business Hero had the likes of Ibuku Wuhika and Strive Masiyiwa and some other top African entrepreneurs. So these are some of the benefits of this grant programs. The relational benefits, where you have access to a community and a network, and also partnership, potential partnership. And there's the experience where you get to pitch to investors, and you get award and recognition, which gives your business a leverage. Because this thing is incremental, right? You start probably with a funding program that is maybe just $100 for your business. Now, what a lot of entrepreneurs do is to waive these little funding opportunities because they feel like, what's this money going to do for my business? But the thing is, this builds on itself. For instance, the African Business Heroes considers applications that have won a funding opportunities before, no matter how small it is. That kind of gives your business a validation. So it makes the bigger guys to want to listen to you, because it says that, okay, somebody thinks that you deserve to be invested in, so maybe I should listen to this person. So this gives your business some form of leverage. So when you are looking out for funding opportunities, don't rule out the little ones. In fact, often these little ones are not that competitive. So they are like low-hanging fruit that you can take advantage of. So when you're applying to the bigger opportunities, you reference this as your previous awards, previous recognitions, and it gives you some advantage in your application. Okay. So that's that on the benefits of grant funding. Okay. Are we going to receive a participation certificate? Well, unfortunately, no. We are not giving a participation certificate for this, but you can take away the mental certificate. I believe that you have taken away something. All right. Okay, so let's look at which is best for you. Which of this funding methods is best for your business? Should you for grants? So there are 3 factors that will help you determine which is best for you. It's not exactly just rule this out or just accept this one. There are some factors you need to consider, and there are 3 of them. You have to consider the stage of your business. You consider the cost and benefit of the different types of funding, and also you consider the business owner's motive. What is your motivation for starting this business? So we take them one after the other. The stage of your business. So there are different stages of business. 4, actually. We have the idea stage or pre-startup stage. So at this stage of business, you should be looking at, if your business is still in the idea stage or pre-startup, you should be looking at bootstrapping your business or equity from family and friends and grant idea competition. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about this. When your business is still in the idea or pre-startup stage, that means your business is not yet proven. You haven't gone to market. Someone have not exchanged their money or data for your business. I mean, money or data, because some businesses, like in the tech space, is measured by the number of users and not number of people that are paid, because there is often not a product to buy at the time. So you, at this stage, your business has not gone out there. And if you are the investor, I think you want to give money to someone who has not started their business, who have not proven the idea, to somebody you don't know. So when you're in this stage, you should be looking out for what we call a warm money, your own money and warm money. Warm money is money from people that you know, family and friends who know you, who you already have social capital with. So you should be looking out for funding from this kind of when you are at this stage of your business. And bootstrapping is when you take your own money and you invest your money into your business, and you reinvest the money your business is generating, the revenue your business is generating, back into your business. So you create a flywheel to get your business started. So when you have something proven and you have a startup, then you can move to somebody and tell them that this is what you have, this is what you have done, and this is what you need their money to do for your business. Now, it will interest you to know that being at the idea stage does not mean that you are disadvantaged. It doesn't mean that there are no persons that are willing to fund your business when you are still in the idea stage. So I'm going to share a story of someone who started the business in the idea stage and was able to build a successful business out of that. Okay, let's admit some more people in the waiting room. Okay, so this is GVE Energy, renewable energy company, founded by Ifeanyi Orajiaka. So Ifeanyi applied for the IEE President's Change the World competition. Now, this is an idea competition. So you don't have to already have a business before applying for this competition. So it was an innovative idea on renewable energy, solving problem. Okay, someone said the presentation has echo. Where's the echo coming from? Okay. Okay, it's fine from here. So I think probably from your end, whoever made that comment, probably you have to. Sorry, someone said something. Is echoing from your end as well? It's fine from here. Okay, it's fine from there. All right, so we'll move on. So if I applied for the IEE President's Change the World competition as a student, and he won the competition. And then while serving as a youth corper, he also applied for the UNDP Access to Renewable Energy Challenge. At this time, he had started the business. So he also won funded grants for this competition. And by the time he started the business and business had gone out of the idea pre-startup stage, he applied for other grant funding like the Power Africa US government initiative. And he also won that. So virtually he engineered and kickstarted his business purely on grants. And currently the business is worth millions of dollars as we speak. So that your business is in the idea stage does not mean that you can't get funding, that there are no funding for you out there. There are fundings that are geared towards idea stage businesses. So you just have to look out for them to find them and to present your application in a way that gives you a competitive advantage. Okay, so the other stage, the next stage, your business could be is the startup stage. So this is the stage where your business have you have proven that you have a business. Your business have a market already. The persons have been willing to pay money for your service or for your product. So you have a sort of something to show for as your business that you have. So at this stage, you should be looking out for equity investments from friends, families, even angel investors. Or you can also be looking out for grants or low interest loans or crowdfunding. For time, we don't have to dive deep into each one of them. But here's the story of Iroko TV, Jason Ojoku. So Jason started. Okay. So what could be the reason for the echo? Okay. Again. So I don't think it seems it's just one or two persons that complain about the echo. So it's not a problem from our end here. Anyway, we move on. So Iroko TV, Jason identify an opportunity in the Nollywood industry. The Nollywood is the Nigerian movie industry. So he realized there is the market is decentralized. There's a central way of creating Nigerian movies that people can watch across the globe on a platform. So he started putting Nigerian movies on YouTube. And the idea was proven at that point. So at that time, he had moved from the idea stage or pre-startup stage to a startup stage. That was when Sebastian Gotta came into the picture, his friend, his college friend, who gave him $150,000 to expand on the business. So at this stage of the business, it was easy for him to convince someone to give him $150,000. So if you are still in the idea stage, as much as there are opportunities out there, there are organizations that are willing to give you grants if you apply to them in a competition. They are willing to give you grants, but you can increase your chances when you go out there and prove your business, prove that you have a business to start with before reaching out to either investors for equity or competitions, or going for low interest rates, loans from organizations that offers them. Okay, so the next is the growth stage. So at this point, your business have gone past the startup stage. Your business now have traction. You have cash flow. Your revenue is growing quarterly. So when you are at this stage, you have more like proven your idea. So what you are looking at is scaling your business to maybe to other countries, expanding your market, and all of that. So at this point, it wouldn't be out of place to look out for loans when you are sure of you have a defined template of what you're going to use the loan for and your plan of repaying back the loan. And also at this stage, you can reach out to VCs. So I was talking about angel investors and VCs. Angel investors are typically high net worth individuals who want to invest in startups with the potential of gaining high returns. So angels, as they are called, are people that find and identify businesses with potential earlier on when the business is still, trying to get its feet. So these people invest. From $10,000 to $100,000, as the case may be, to your business. Then the VCs are venture capitalists. So typically, VCs are looking to scale business at the large scale. So in fact, you would have VCs that wouldn't invest in a business when you are not asking for nothing less than $10 million or $30 million. So angel investors are like the first stage before you get onto VC. That's when you start talking of the series, seed investing, series A and series B and all of that. So when you are still in the startup stage, you shouldn't be looking out for VCs. You should be looking at angel investors if that is what you are looking for. But at the growth stage, then you can take your business to VC. And also, you can also invest in grants as a growth company. I remember a particular candidate who won over $40 million, who got $40 million from VC investing early this year, around January. As a matter of fact, he's one of the top 20 people selected for the African Business Heroes. So the fact that you have gotten that big does not mean that you can't. Okay, can you mute your mics? Okay, I have to do it from here. I think there's some echoes, interaction, disturbances.
Mix na zero.
Okay. So, was I talking about, okay, I was talking about the guy who had gotten $40 million in VC funding, but he still made his way to a grant that is willing to give $300,000 as the grant prize. But when you're applying for grant programs, you have to understand the stage of your business. So I did mention the fact that the three stages, which is the best for you. You have to consider your stage of business. So this business, for them to be considered in a grant-based funding, they have to present the side of the business that needs to be considered for a grant. If they had emphasized on the fact that they got $40 billion, they wouldn't be considered, because why would you want $300,000 when you already have $40 million? Or they emphasize on the community side, the CSR side of their business, which is an impact-based CSR, which aligns with the motive of the funder. So for that reason, they were considered for the application. So you need to understand the dynamics of these funders when you are applying to them, depending on the stage of business you are in. So some growth businesses that have gotten funding at the growth stage, we have Flutterwave, which is I believe, the first African unicorn to be worth $1 billion. We have East Africa Foods, we have Paul 247, and we have Euroco TV. Two of them here have been privileged to have meet some of the persons that are part of the company. So understanding the stage of your business is something you consider to identify the right investors to reach out for. So maturity stage, at this stage, maybe it's possible that you have someone whose business is in the maturity stage here, where your business has grown, you are big, you have covered, you've gained a large market share. So at this point, it will be the lending institutions who are coming to you and asking you to take loan from them, because people want to give you money because you have a business that is proven, you have solid cash flow, you have, your business is proven. So this stage of business typically acquire funding through IPO, initial public offers, and acquisition. So we have the case like Jumia was acquired. The initial funders sold the company and they made a great deal of money from it. Stripe, I did mention Stripe, Paystack that was acquired by Stripe at $200 million, a lot of money. So if you're at this stage of business, then you shouldn't be looking for a grant, because I don't know what you'll be doing with that, because you already have a business that is successful, so to say. So these are the stages your business could be. So regardless, if anybody here, every one of you here, I believe your business would fall into one of these. So when you consider this, then you consider the other reason or other factor to consider, which is the cost benefit of the type of fund. Grants are typically zero cost. So So you don't have to pay back. Zero equity, you don't have to give off a part of your company. And it comes with non-financial benefits, educational, networking, partnership, and all of that. And debt's usually less expensive compared to equity because the loans, once you're done paying the loan, you don't have anything to lose other than paying back the loan and the interest. But there's obligation to repay. That's the cost. An obligation, whether your business succeeds or not, you have to pay back the loan with the interest. The benefit is that there's zero equity required, so you don't give up equity of your business. The next is the equity is more expensive because this person is taking a higher risk. If the business fails, everybody fails. It's when you get equity investing, you don't refund the money when the business fails. Everybody fails, including the funder. So they are taking higher risk. So they end up taking something that is relatively more valuable than the money they are giving to you. But the advantage there is that when someone invests in your business or is invested in your business on equity, they have more stake to see that the business succeeds. They want to see the business succeed. So they are going to give their expertise, they are going to give their network to ensure your business succeeds. So that's one of the advantage of having equity investor. Okay, before we move on to the talk about the next one, let me just share a story of when I invested, the first time I invested in a business, right? Hopefully you take out a lesson from that. So I met this young man on Facebook who writes very interesting articles about business and some a type of business. And I left him a comment and gave him some insight on how he could improve on what he was doing. And he sent me I asked him to send me a DM, and I said, fine, you can go ahead. So he sent a DM and we started talking and asked a few things. I gave him some tips on what to do. And in about 2 weeks, he launched a business based on the guideline that he got from our discussion. And within a space of 6 months, he had a business that was earning him, little over $100 per month, but it was a start. And then he came up with an idea, a business plan of how to expand the business, but he needed funds to expand it to that level. At the time, he was staying at a rural area in Nigeria, which is out of town. So he needed to employ people. He needed an office space to set up his business. So we had to agree on a 1-year term for him to prove the business further, to see that the business is viable. So in a space of 1 year, his business grew from that $100 a month to about $300, $400, which was showing traction in the idea. So we came up with a business plan, we reviewed it, and I invested in the business. So in this case, I came in as an angel investor, right? This is someone I never knew, but I got to invest in his business. So what am I trying to say here? When you are talking about funding, people often look at the organized space of funding. People think about, go to an organized office of a VC or angel investor, apply to a grant. But the truth there is that there is a decentralized pool of funds out there. There are people who have funds that they are thinking of where to put them. They are looking for people that have ideas, viable ideas, businesses that have potential to grow, that they can invest in. You meet people, you cross their paths every time online, on Twitter, on Facebook, you chat without knowing who you are talking to. But when you put yourself out there, when you make your interest, what you are about, known, and when you are pushable and teachable, people see that and people take note of that. And when it's time for you to reach out to assistance or for fund, as the case may be, or for guidelines, such persons will be available to help. So when you are considering funding opportunities, look beyond the organized space. You can reach out to people that you meet on a daily basis, people you cross paths with. Even your colleague in the office can be willing to invest in your business if you present the right business plan to them. And if you are honest, if you are an honest person, and if you have the right personality that someone will want to invest in. All right, so as a side note, back to the factors, 3 factors to consider. Your business motivation. So why are you building a business? Typically, people start business for different reasons. One of the reasons is income stream business. So this is just, as a matter of fact, a larger pool of businesses fall into this category. These are businesses that are started for lifestyle and paying bills. So you have them on the roadside. The owners just want to have a business that makes them money so they can take care of their needs, take care of their families, and just have a life that is out of the 9 to 5. So when your business motive is income, it's just about generating income, then you have to consider the kind of funding you are looking out for. Because typically, a lot of people in this pool of businesses, a significant percentage, don't have a structure that is presentable to investors. So if your business is income stream based and you probably haven't separated your bank account with your personal accounts, and you don't have proper financial records, you're going to struggle with attracting grants and those kind of funding, because these funders and investors are looking for businesses that have structure. They're looking for businesses that is defined and it's separate from the owner. So if the owner is taken out of the picture, the business can still exist. So you have to understand this. So if this is your motivation, then you have to reconsider how you run your business if you are looking for investors to invest in your business. The other reason why people start a business is for legacy, right? This is the business you start to pass on to the next member of your family, right? And we have a lot of this kind of businesses, some of them which have grown, large businesses that are global that we know today. And we have in some of our communities, we have these businesses too, which was started by someone's grandfather, passed down to father, and then the son who wants to pass it down to the son as well. So if this is your motive of starting a business, then you have to be wary of the kind of funds you accept. Because you want to retain control of the business so you can pass it down. If you are reaching out to equity investors, you have to be a lot more careful not to give off much control of the business so you can be able to pass it down to your family. And if you are looking for a loan, which is typically what fits best in this kind of businesses, then that can also work out for you. And if you are looking for equity, loan, and grants, well, you can also take advantage of grant program if your business is legacy based, but you have to, your spool may be streamlined with some programs that are more about the team that are behind your business and all of that. So you have to look at the criteria of the fund that you're applying to. Okay. And then we have the venture businesses. These are businesses that are built to grow fast and sell. So we see them a whole lot on the news. This business just sold for $200 million. This just sold for $10 million, as the case may be. So in this case, the business owner, the motive is to build a business, grow it fast, and sell it. And a very typical example is Paystack. Paystack was started, and in a space of 5 years, they sold their business for $200 million. I mean, that's something significant. So these people are not building their business for legacy to hand it down to your family or just for a stream of income. In fact, some of these businesses don't even make profit before they sell them. Something like WhatsApp, when WhatsApp was sold, it didn't even have a product they were selling. Instagram, when it was bought by Facebook, there was no product. And several other such deals have been acquisition when it comes in the venture space. So typically, the businesses are built to sell. So when this is your business model, then you have to consider equity. Equity works best for this business model. You are not looking at gaining total control of the business. What you are looking at is growing the business as fast as possible. So you want to bring in people with different skill set from yours, so that they can help grow the business fast. Of course, some grant program will also accept you if you are in the legacy business space. And then we have the big vision. So these businesses are philosophical. They are not looking to sell. They are looking to change the world. So, Mark Zuckerberg have talked about how he wants to connect the world, how he wants the world to connect. And with the approaches he got for sale, he never agreed to sell his business. We have Amazon, we have Tesla, we have SpaceX. These businesses are not interested in selling the company. So if your motivation is to build a business with a big vision to change the world, to solve a global problem while you are still at the end of your affairs, then you have to be wary of who you take money from. You don't want to take money from investors who do not align with your vision. You want to stay in control of your business so that you can continue to drive that vision of your business. So that's that. When you consider the stage of your business, the costs versus the benefit of the type of fund that's available out there, and your motivation for starting the business, this will help drive the kind of funds that you look out for, whether you should take money from equity venture angel investors, or from families in equity, or for loan, or apply for grants. So that's that. So at this point, we want to take a poll just to get us relaxed a little. The poll is going to pop up on your screen. Okay.
Can you mute Owana?
Yeah.
Owana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you mute her mic?
Okay. Okay, thanks. Seems you're having a little challenge with the pool, but let's just move on. Get to that later on. Okay, so just to give an overview of what we have discussed about. So typically, you want to start your business with as much as you can with your own money. Because if you go to someone and you tell them you have this wonderful idea, and they ask you, okay, how much have you invested in this? And you say 0, you haven't invested in it. Why would you want them to invest, bring in their money to invest in it when you are not confident enough to invest your own money? Now, it's understandable that you may be at the stage where you don't have the money to invest. Maybe you are still a student, or you're still, you just graduated from school, or for some reason you don't have the fund to start a business. There are opportunities for idea-based competitions out there, which are quite honestly competitive. So you want to give yourself the options. So if you can, as much as possible, start your business with your own fund. So that gives you a proof that you can take to somebody else, even if it's your family member, your uncle, somebody you know. You go to them and you tell them, this is what I have put into this business. Okay, even if it's not your money, your time. Probably you've built a business, you have you're a developer, and you have this idea, and you built an app with your skill. That skill is money. It's money on its own. So if you tell someone I have invested this amount of time to build this app, it's something. And we can liken that to your money. So when you go to someone, and preferably want money, and this is somebody who you know, somebody who you already have some level of credibility and a social relationship with, family member, friends, colleagues, you ask them to invest in your business. So when you are able to get this class of money to your business, and you are reaching out to cold money, which is someone who doesn't know you, whether they're a competition or angel investor, as the case may be, you have this record. Because the person asks, okay, so who else have invested in this money? So, okay, this friend of mine has invested this $10,000, $5,000. This person has invested. It gives you upfront credibility and makes the person wants to listen to you, other than when nobody else has, because we are humans and nobody wants to be the first. Nobody wants to take that first step. But when people see that someone has already taken the step to invest in your business, they are more motivated to want to listen and probably end up investing in your business. So take it in this direction, a step at a time. Your fund, your warm money, your cold money, and even more cold money gives more credibility to cold money. Just like I mentioned, when applying to not ignoring the little grant programs, which gives you some sort of credibility when applying for the bigger grant programs. Okay, and we're almost there. So we talk about how to attract the funding opportunity. Okay, I have to mute that. Okay, so you have to develop the right mindset, and let's just put it out there and take it one after the other. You have to develop the right mindset to be able to take advantage of these funding opportunities. And one after the other, set realistic expectations, right? You don't have an idea and then you go to somebody and you say, I have this wonderful idea and it's worth $10 million. My business is worth 10 million. Or rather, my idea is worth 10 million. Give me 1 million to get 10% of the business. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to be realistic with your valuation and with your expectation. If looking at the stage your business is, you ask for something that is practical, right? If you are going to family and friends or colleagues, you offer something. You have a question? Please give us a quick list of some of the sources. Okay, we'll get to the question later. So you have to be realistic with the what you are requesting for from the funder. You cannot take it via milestones. Probably start with just an example. You need, okay, let's say $5,000 to invest in your product. And then the next stage, you probably need 20,000, 50, 100, like that, rather than just blowing off from the start. Be realistic. That's the right mindset to have. Then sell, don't beg. Now, this may seem like a no-brainer, but it would interest you to know that quite a number of people who apply for funding opportunities are begging for money. I mean, someone who approaches someone is applying for a grant and is saying, oh, please, I come from a very poor family. I need money to be able to pay my sister's school fees. I need to set up my business. I need money and all that. Nobody wants to listen to that. People are not looking for money for sympathy base. They are looking for money. They want to put their money where it's going to bear, it's going to have some return. Even if the interest is social impact, they want to be able to look back tomorrow and be proud to have been part of your story. So when applying for funding opportunities, sell yourself. You should be selling your product, selling your idea, selling your personality, selling your team, and giving people reason why they should invest in your business. And you have to understand that capital is abundant. The money is out there. What seems to be short of is the ideas, the businesses to invest in. When you have the right idea, you have the right personality, and you put yourself out there with the right mindset, you can attract the capital to invest in your business. And then there's a competition skill set and competition mindset, right? When you're applying for application competitions, I already mentioned about sell, don't beg. That's the competition mindset. You have to understand that your goal is to convince this person to want to invest in your business. And also you need to understand what should go into your application, right? You have been interviewed people who applied for grants. And in the interview, just because the judges deliberately had to ask some pressing questions. They were able to get some answers that would have given the candidates some advantage if they had put it in the application from the onset. So you need to understand what should go into your application and what should stay out of it. Because what stays in your application can make or break it. And what stays out of it can as well make or break it. So when you understand the key things, you should understand the key things that should go into your application and what should stay out of it. Like your story is a very, very important aspect of convincing someone to want to invest in your business. But as a matter of fact, investors typically invest in you. They invest in individuals, not necessarily the product. I mean, when you think about it, we had MySpace and we had Facebook, and Facebook ended up being the success story. Both great ideas, almost same ideas, great ideas, but the personality, it was Mark Zuckerberg that made Facebook successful. So investors or funders are interested in your personality. They're interested in your story. They want you to tell that inspiring story of where you came from, how you got about this idea, and what makes you the right person to be running this business and to be wanting to solve this problem. That is something that's going to give you an advantage when applying for funding. And then you have to be consistent and persistent. That you have applied to 1 and 2 or 3 and didn't get it does not mean that you should give up. It doesn't mean that it is not for you. You have to keep applying, understand what you did right and what you did wrong. And interestingly, a lot of these competitions give room for feedback, right? Even if you were not selected for the second round, there's room for you to get feedback on what you did well and what you need to improve on. So take the time to go through that. If you applied for the African business heroes, go through your application. There are segments where the reviewer and the Judge 1, gave you feedback on what you could have done better or what you need to do going forward in your next application. So these are going to give you something to take away, and then you keep trying. It doesn't always happen in first trial. Some people are lucky to apply first and get it, but some have to try again and again before they end up getting it. Then show up with the right personal brand. Your personality, like I said, is the key aspect of what funders want to apply to, want to invest in. Okay. And next, you need to know your risk profile. And this is where we've already discussed that. Okay, I'm seeing some comments popping up. We'll get to all that. So you need to understand, like we already discussed, that the stage of your business, the motivation of starting your business, because the motivation of starting your business can be a risk factor for your when you are seeking a fund. Some funders or investors wouldn't want to invest in a business that is just for income stream, or in a business that is for family legacy, or a business that is a venture business that just want to grow and sell. You'd be interested to know there are some funders that wants to invest in big vision businesses like Amazon, the Amazons of this world, the Facebooks. That's where they want to put in their money. So you have to understand where your business lies in the scheme of things when it comes to funders. So you're also your competitor. You have to have an understanding of your competition and your unique selling proposition. Do you have a chance based on your USP to scale to get through in this market? Do you have a chance to succeed considering your competition in this market? I remember a business I reviewed, application I reviewed, and the business is going into the refrigerator space. And it sounds like a very fantastic idea, but then we had to now consider the fact that there are already big players in the market. So why would what stops a big player from just modifying the product they already have and start producing what you are producing as well? Okay, so what is USP? USP is unique selling proposition, your unique selling point. What is unique about your business? What is unique? What are you bringing to the table that should make a customer, a client, choose to do business with you other than your competitor? That's USP. So someone asked that question, and I hope you get it clear. All right. So you also consider the target the right investors. I think this is already clear at this point. The right investor based on your business, your stage of business, your motivation for business. You have to get a clear understanding. Are they profit seeking? Are they social impact driven? Is it for foreign policy innovation, or is it a government interest funder? So get this understanding and target the right investor and funder for your business. So building a strong application, have to build a strong application. So this is where we're going to wrap up about 10 points here. I've talked about telling the inspiring story behind your business. You have to understand how to craft a story that inspires. You have to understand how to present yourself story-wise, present the story behind your business. Often, I believe you have probably watched and listened to interviews from successful entrepreneurs. Often, they are not asked questions about what's going on in the internal side of the business. They are not asked about the nitty-gritty of business. What they are asked is a story. Often, what you see out there is a story behind the business, story behind the persons who have achieved the success of the business. Those stories sells, and ensure that you take the time to craft a story. Don't wait until you have to apply and then you have to start thinking about what story do I tell? How do I tell the story? Craft that story, tell that story. And as a matter of fact, you should be telling the story of your business as part of your marketing. So it should come naturally when you're applying for a business to tell your story, which is already out there. So rather than just wanting to crank up something and just put on your application. Because I've seen a lot of applicants, when they are asked to tell the story of their business, they still go back to tell the solution they are trying to solve, or go back to talk about the problem of the market. I mean, your competitor will tell say the same thing about the problem. Everybody in the market will tell the same story about the product or about the industry. What often makes you different is your own story, your story behind you and your business. That's what makes you different, and it's something you need to explore as much as you can when applying for these competitions. Then give a clear plan on how the fund will be allocated and the potential impact it's going to make in your business. For some people who may have experience in applying for funds, or who may have even won some funding opportunities before, some of these things may seem like, oh, of course, everybody should know this. But when you are behind the scene, you'll be shocked at the number of applications that turns out to not meet the basic expectations for an average applicant. And if you are able to take care of these points, these things, you already put yourself in the top 10% of your application. Then other things can follow when considering your application. So have a clear plan of how you're going to use the money. If you are applying for, let's say, the USDF, United States Development Foundation Fund for Agriculture, you're applying for the entire $250,000, of which there's room to request between $50,000 and $250,000. So if you're requesting for the $250,000, you should have a breakdown, a clear path on how and where the money is going into, and how that money is going to make a difference with taking your business from where it is to where you want to take it. So have that well articulated. And I'll also add that you take the time to have these things outlined already. Don't make it an impromptu thing, an afterthought. You sit on the application and then you have to just think this whole thing through and put it out there. You would strain yourself with the thought process compared to if you have taken the time to think through the entire thing. Okay, so demonstrate thorough understanding of your industry, the competitor, and the market. So you have to show that you understand your industry, that you understand your competitor, you understand your market. You have to demonstrate that you have this understanding, and that you are not just in business. I remember asking someone who told me about a fantastic idea they have, and I asked him, okay, who are the competitors in the market? What is the market value of this industry? And well, the response is that there's nobody doing this. There's no competitor. But by the time I took the time to search online and realize that there are a lot of people doing it already. So when you are applying for funding opportunities or you are meeting an investor, a potential investor, you have to go with deep knowledge, deep understanding of your industry, of the competitor, the people already in the industry, and the market itself, the demography of the industry. You have to demonstrate the thorough understanding, and also demonstrate thorough and honest understanding of your business numbers. It's interesting to see the repetition of this error in a number of applications of applicants submitting a different number in the application, and when it came to the interview, presenting a totally different number from what they gave in the application. That's already an automatic red flag. It shows that this person does not understand the numbers, the financials of their business. And this has to be a constant. I mean, your numbers, your revenue for the last quarter has to be constant. It doesn't have to change. It has to be constant. Your initial previous investment has to be constant. It doesn't have to change. So these are numbers you need to know that whenever you are asked, whether on an interview or when you are applying, you have the same consistent number and a representation of how your business is doing. And then also USP, I've already talked about USP, have a smart future plan. The intent is to make this webinar 1 hour, but we seem to have exceeded an hour, but we're almost rounding off, and it's good to see most of you guys are still there. I hope, I'm sure some of you have questions, so we'll get to that soonest. Some people are still in the waiting room. Anyway, if you weren't privileged to join us from the beginning, you can always go back to YouTube, and we're going to have a recording of this video on YouTube, so you can go back to them and get up to speed with every section of the webinar. Okay, so smart future plan and financial focus. So when you're talking about the future plan of your business, you should have a definite plan, right? Your plan has to be defined. It's something you should have thought about, and it would seem like it's a no-brainer. Everybody understands that, but a lot of applicants make this mistake of just going with the flow, just writing a plan based on, I just want to get this application done with deadline. But then when it's interview and they are asked questions based on the future plan they presented, they probably would have forgotten what they wrote. They would have forgotten, and they are giving a different response. So you have to have a future plan for your business and a financial forecast for your business, and have it at every application. Every time you apply, you are using the same information, the same data in your application. Okay, interesting to see you still joining us. All right, so build a solid team and organizational structure. So I talked about the income stream businesses where the owner probably uses the same bank account, personal account for business accounts. Business has no structure. It's just one person and then every other person. When you're applying for funding, funders want to see that your business is organized, your business has a structure, and you have a solid team behind your business that can drive this business to growth and success. So have that understanding. If your business is still at the stage where the structure is not yet defined, you can still take the time to put that in order before going out to seek for funding. Then get a second opinion from a knowledgeable person or persons when applying. Don't just apply and submit. Get someone to review your application, to give you feedback on what you have put out, and guide you on how to improve on your application. it's interesting how little things can make a difference in one's application. I remember a particular applicant who, just because he didn't he submitted a link, a Google Drive link to a video without making the video public. Now he had a fantastic business plan, a fantastic projection, market traction on point, everything was on point. But simply because his video was not made public, so when the reviewer clicked on the video, he needed to get permission to be able to view the video. That was what disqualified him. Just little things like this. If the applicant had gotten a second person to view the application, probably the person would have identified that and given the person a head start into the competition. And in fact, this applicant had the potential of getting to the top 10, had a fantastic business. Just this little was what disqualified him. So it's important that you get someone to review your application. That can make a whole lot of difference on whether you move forward in the competition or not. Okay. So I think that would be it. So finding funding opportunities. We have After School Africa, afterschoolafrica.com /entrepreneurship. We publish funding opportunities as they come. You can go there right now. I'm sure you probably see a number of opportunities that are currently ongoing. So someone asked for a list of opportunities. Just go to afterschoolafrica.com /entrepreneurship, and you would see you can view the currently available ones, and the ones that are no longer available, you can take note of them so that when they are open, you would get to apply for them. And subscribe also to a newsletter if you haven't, so that you can receive our newsletter when these applications open. So our YouTube channel, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, across our social media page. So that's it, guys. Keep pushing it and never give up. At this point, we're going to take questions. Let's take your questions now. Okay.
So all right, everyone. I believe we've had a great time. So if you're there, just put an applause on your screen. Just you can jam your hands for Mr. Ikena for that wonderful presentation. So this hour we'll be taking questions. All right. So if there be any questions you may ask, leave them right away so that we could answer them. Yeah. So we thank Mr. Ikena for that wonderful section. Thank you. So I got a question. Okay, I can see Thierry. You said there's a question. Let's see your question. All right. Thank you very much for this amazing presentation.
Okay, someone is asking for a quick summary list of some of the sources of funding you mentioned. We're going to share the slide with you. So if you join this webinar by registering your email, then we're going to send it out. So I hope that answers that.
I hope that answers the question. Okay, someone is asking, do this sponsorship have age limits?
Well, it depends on the particular funder they are outlined. Different funders. Okay, we see. You can only, if you want to speak, you can indicate, and then you have to turn your mic on this end. So we don't interfere with the sound, right? Okay, so the question was, what was that again? Let me. Okay, about age limit. So it depends on the organization that is offering the funding. For instance, Africa Business Heroes has no age limit. As a matter of fact, the current application season had someone in their 60s or so who applied and had 18 years. So absolutely, I believe everybody here would qualify for such an to apply for the foundation. But some other ones have age limits. Like some would have 18 to 30. Some would be, as the case may be. So it depends on the particular organization. Hello, we have other questions.
Mute the mics so that they can.
I think someone is raising their hand. Is that
Can you mute Nasiru's mic, please? Yeah. So his mic is on. Okay, it's better now. Okay, someone asked a question. Is there specific places for this sponsorship or it's all Africa?
Is there what?
Is there specific places for this sponsorship or it's all Africa? Isa Jama, can you specify what you're trying to ask? Okay, there's a very
place for this sponsorship. Yeah, again, it depends on the funder. So there are different funding organizations. So some of them are specific for a region. So you have funders that are specifically for South Africans. You have funders that are African-wide, like the Tony Elumelu Foundation is African-wide. The ABH, Africa Business Hero, is Africa-wide, and several other ones. And we have specific ones that are country-specific. So it just depends on the particular funding opportunity, the platform that you're applying to. And there are lots of them out there.
All right. Thank you so much for that response. I hope you got the question and the answer has been provided for you. All right. If there be more questions, you can leave it on the chat box so that we could trash that. But aside that, if you are on,
I think I'm seeing another question. Someone is asking, okay, does this sponsorship look for how old the business has been and what sort of businesses do they normally look for? Okay, I want to believe that you joined late because I mentioned that some funding look at business that are still in the ideation stage, that are still just ideas or still just starting. Some are looking for businesses that have been in business for minimum of 3 years or 5 years, as the case may be. And there are specific funding platforms, funding organizations that are niche-based or industry-based. So you have those that are specific for energy, renewable energy businesses. You have those for agriculture, as the case may be. So it depends on the particular funding organization you are reaching out to. So these things are not rigid. Each organization have their different criteria. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Are most investors interested in big vision type of business idea? No, not investors that are interested in big vision may be specific about that criteria, but there are lots of investors that are looking for small scale businesses to invest in. There are investors that are looking for legacy-based businesses. There are investors that are interested in innovation-based businesses. So it depends on the again, it depends on the investor.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Someone asked a question. Could you give more websites to search? I think we provided that answer you and After School Africa website. You can find a lot of.
Okay, more website to search for funding opportunities. Yeah. Okay, if you are subscribed, you have to subscribe to our newsletter. We'll be sending some of that to our subscribers. Okay.
All right. How can I meet a funding body that funds livestock? Okay, that question is from Samini.
Which is that?
How can I meet funding bodies that funds livestock business?
Is it most of the time the funders need some businesses which are well established? How can and where can starters find funding? So, like I did mention, I think at the middle of this presentation, that there are different stages that from funders fund businesses at different stages. There are idea stage funders, there are startup funders, there are growth funders. So it depends on the stage of your business. There are funders for different. As a matter of fact, this is is a large industry. So it has different funders for different niches, different specialization and all of that. So it's not limited to any particular criteria. You just have to look for funders that its criteria meets your own interest. Okay. Are these seed funding supports for waste? Are there seed funding support from waste management and agribusiness seed funding? I mean, businesses that are still in idea stage. Very likely, there would be, but you have to look for them to find them. Can't think of one at this moment, but yeah, I'm sure there are.
All right.
Okay.
There's a question. After School Africa are able to link us to mentors to support us on one with our application.
Mentors to support business starters on business plan writing. At this point, we are working on something, and in that regard, and when we are ready, we would reach out to you guys regarding that. Some help we can offer to businesses in helping them with the application and all of that. Of course, it's going to be a service, and it's going to be a paid service.
All right. Okay. Very important. So let's take note of that. So Adekunle asked a question. I'm taking us back up a bit. He said, this is just to appreciate Kenya for sharing knowledge with us. My worries are about Africans. How Africans, pardon me, could not trust each other. People steal other people's ideas in the process of seeking funding. Should we, I think I didn't get exempt or something.
Should we what?
Exempt. Okay, let me get that. We should just examine ourselves and behave well. And he said, sincerely appreciates.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, but what I would like to say regarding that is, you see, ideas are virtually not worth much. Ideas by themselves are not worth that much. If you have an idea, your concern shouldn't really be about someone stealing your idea. What it takes to make a business successful is execution. And if someone can take your idea and execute it to be successful, then that means they deserve the idea in the first place. It's execution that matters. And what you should be concerned about is how to execute your business. And if the risk of your idea being stolen is something you have to deal with to get your idea out there or to seek funding, then by all means, you shouldn't worry too much about it. Because it is often said that the richest place on earth is the grave, where people go down with their ideas without sharing it with the world. So your concern should be that you get your idea out there, not on whether it gets stolen or not, because the world is what it is. And as a matter of fact, it's not easy for anybody to take an idea and make something out of it. It takes a lot more effort to execute, to make that idea a success. So shouldn't be much worried about your idea being stolen.
Okay, Elisha asked the very question. Elisha said, are there seed funding support for waste management and agribusinesses? I mean, business that are still at idea stage.
Yeah, I think I already answered that. I picked that up and answered it. I already answered it.
Okay. Okay. Do we have business community group? We can please just drop a question. Just leave your question on the screen. We attend to it. Thank you. Do we have a partnership options? I have a farm with structure, or yet to kick off due to funding. I stay abroad.
Well, yeah, the purpose of this webinar is to give you some guideline on how to go about this. So you can take what you have gotten from this and then reach out to potential funders. A United States Development Fund Foundation offers funding for agri-businesses in Africa, and you have access to between $50,000 to $250,000 to invest in your agri-business. So you have to reach out to and apply for the program to take advantage of that. In fact, as we speak, the application is still open with deadline on 30th of this month. So you can still apply for it as we speak.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So okay. Someone asked a question. So do you take into consideration the books of accounts before providing sponsorship? This question is from Vivian.
Okay, do you take into consideration books of what?
Accounts before providing sponsorship. Before providing sponsorship.
I don't think I get that question.
Okay, maybe she's referring to the firm that provides the funds. If they will look at your account before giving you funds, something like that.
Yes, if that's the question, Vivian, yes, of course. Before someone wants to give you money, they want to know what you have been doing. They want to know how healthy your business is financially. So yeah, you would have to, in a lot of cases, in most cases, you have to provide your financials, your financial record, and even a financial forecast. So it's more like you give them the history of your business, how your business have done in the past, where your business is currently, and where you intend to take your business going forward. So that's something that is typical that you have to make available to a potential investor.
Yeah, that is very true. But in the case that you are making a break even, could you be considered?
Okay, I guess that's Vivian responding. That's Vivian, right?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay,
That's
my volume is quite low. I wasn't able to hear what.
Okay, can you take that again, Vivian?
Yeah, I was saying that is a very good point. But in the case that the business is doing a break even, could you consider that for the sponsorship?
That the business is not doing great today.
No, when the business is having break even in terms of profits.
You haven't broken even.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you consider giving out the sponsorship or not making enough profits?
Okay, so most most funding opportunities or investors they are more concerned in the future prospect of your business, right? In fact, a lot of them are not so concerned about whether your business is even making profit at the time. ABH, Africa Business Hero, for instance, it's not necessarily important that you are making profit. You don't have to be making profit. You just have to prove that you have a viable business and that your business is solving a problem and that you have a clear path towards solving that problem and scaling solution to that problem, right? So in a situation like that, the concern is not whether your business has broken even or whether you are making profit. So these are the metrics they look at. The future, that's usually why they request for your future plan. And I mentioned that part. They want to know your future plan and your financial projection. So if they want to understand when you intend to start making profits. So a lot of applications will make provision for that in terms of your financial projection. They want to see, okay, the next 2 years, 3 years, you expect to start making profit, and this is how you intend to get there. And this is how the fund you're requesting from them will help you to get to that place of profit. So you should never be limited from applying to a funding program because you're not making profit or because you haven't broken even. That shouldn't be something to hold you back.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much as well. All right, so we'll quickly look at this as we begin to wind down. Someone asked if there is a WhatsApp group from Thierry where we can get new news about business and opportunity. I think he answers.
Okay, we just have to take note of that. We'll take note of that. I wouldn't just want to add people's phone number to WhatsApp without consent. So we'll look at that as something we could potentially offer.
Right. Thank you very much. So
okay,
I'm just trying to scroll through to see if there'll be any other question. I think that's that. Okay, someone asked, I think from Ayomide, a direct question to me. He said, can the discussant give practical steps for a business person who currently have been indebted from past businesses to be out of debt? It's a very important question.
Okay, how to be out of debt, right? That's the question.
Can the discussant give practical steps for a business person who have been indebted from past business to be out of debt? Yes, that's the practical question he's asking. Ayomide is asking. Yes.
Well, there's no step at this point that will be generic about getting out of debt because your situation is ideal and unique to itself. First and foremost, what is the source of the debt? Who offered you the debt? What amount are we talking about? What was the debt used for? What is the stage of the business at the moment? There are a lot of factors at play. So it's not a direct something you can offer a direct or practical response to without having some much more detailed understanding of what is going on in the business and the parties involved. Yeah.
All right. So, I hope that answers your question, Ayomide. All right. So very quickly, someone asked a question from Pardon Tembo. Pardon Tembo asks, do you have a business community group we can be interacting even after this meeting and share business ideas?
Yeah, I think that's similar to someone that asked about the WhatsApp group. So
WhatsApp group. Okay.
Would give a thought about that. And shout out to you guys when we decide on that.
Okay, someone sent me. Okay, Vivian, do get in touch with me. Okay, Timothy said the WhatsApp group is a viable idea, so that would be great. Okay. Okay. Looking through the messages to see if the ones have not pointed out. All right. I think that will be that.
Okay. Okay, so
Okay, Ayobide still go back to me. He said, so that he can rebound and also get to the level. I think he answered that question, Ayobide, on getting out of debt. I think he has responded to that already.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you have to get a better understanding. This is something that has to be addressed on specific basis based on the current situation and the uniqueness of the situation your business is in. I mean, generally, if you are in debt, what you should be looking at is having a cash flow that balances, that can enable you to repay back your debt. I mean, that's typical. You should be able to have a source of repaying back your debt, whether directly or indirectly. So as a business, if your business is in debt and you have some businesses have had to take on further debt to repay debt. So if you have a debt that is expensive and you can get access to a cheaper debt that enables you to pay off the expensive debt, that can be a way to reduce the burden that you have so that you can have more time to repay the new debt you have acquired. So it works in different ways. And in another instance, it could just be about mapping out a marketing plan to increase your revenue so that you can earn more money to pay off your debt. And it can work in many ways. And in other case, depending on the parties involved, you can even have to negotiate a pardon for the debt, a debt relief. And that could be the solution to your particular situation, considering the party involved. So that's why I said that you have to, it's something that has to be dealt with on your particular, based on the particular situation. I think someone is raising up their hand here, right? Okay, that's Banawe, Isaac, okay.
Okay, Ayomide is asking if there's a platform where he could discuss details with you, because he's saying something about 2.3 million left, and so for him to be able to, I think, no, he said he has 5 million debt and he has paid 2.3 million or 2.3 million left. Either way, he needs a platform to reach out to you to discuss details with you.
Okay, so you can reach out. He's sending you a private message, right? So you can
Yes.
give him a contact to reach out to us, or to reach out to me.
Info at the school. Okay. All right, so I think that's that. The other messages we're seeing here from Kazim Bello saying thank you.
Trying to.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for your kind response, Ayorinde. All right, you're welcome, Ayorinde. All right, so you can reach us on info@afterschoolafrica.com by email, and then go back to you. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time and all our participants. So every of these live broadcasts will be put up on our YouTube channel so that you can go view and then be informed again. And then also share to everyone that you could share to so that they can also be empowered. If you're already subscribed to our email, you will be getting these slides and every other information you can right to your doorstep. Thank you much for your time. We appreciate you. We appreciate you all getting your message. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we call you whenever, and again, we'll convene. Thank you so much. Yeah. Second, do you have a last word for them before we leave?
Yeah, that's it. And have a great day, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.